Hello, 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 you amazing Oak Glen Grizzly. Dude, look who's in the background. Whoop, whoop. Hey, my name's Jeff Kubiak. I'm the author of One Drop of Kindness. And, it's not easy right now, but I hope you're being kind, and I hope you're being awesome, and I hope you're still having some fun. I am lucky I get to read chapter XVI in Charlotte's Web. Now, X being what? X is the Roman numeral for 10. V is the Roman numeral for 5 and Roman numeral 1, right? So XVI would be chapter 10 plus 5 plus 1. You figure that out. Off to the fair. The night before the county fair, everybody went to bed early. Fern and Avery were in bed by 8. Avery lay dreaming that the Ferris wheel had stopped and that he was at the top car. Fern lay dreaming that she was getting sick in the swings. Lurvy was in bed by 8:30. He lay dreaming that he was throwing baseballs at a cloth cat and winning a genuine Navajo blanket. Ooh, that's a cool word, Navajo. Navajo is a First People in America tribe. Try to figure that one out. Mr. and Mrs. Zuckerman were in bed by 9. Mrs. Zuckerman lay dreaming about a deep freeze unit. Mr. Zuckerman lay dreaming about Wilbur. He dreamt that Wilbur had grown until he was 116 feet long and 92 feet high, that he had won all the prizes at the fair and was covered with blue ribbons, and he even had a blue ribbon tied to the end of his tail. Down in the barn cellar, the animals too went to sleep early, except for Charlotte. Tomorrow would be fair day. Every creature planned to get up early to see Wilbur off on his great adventure. You ever been on a great adventure? Why don't you share one with a friend and talk about it, or talk to your parents? When morning came, everybody got up at daylight. The day was hot. Up the road at the Arabelle's house, Fern lugged a pail of hot water to her room and took a sponge bath. Then she put on her prettiest dress because she knew she would see boys at the fair. Mrs. Arabelle scrubbed the back of Avery's neck and wet his hair and parted it and brushed it down hard till it stuck to the top of his head. All but about 6 hairs that stood straight up. Avery even put on clean underwear, clean blue jeans, and a clean shirt. Mr. Arabelle dressed, ate breakfast, then went out and polished his truck. He had offered to drive everybody to the fair, including Wilbur. Bright and early, Lurvy put clean straw in Wilbur's crate and lifted it into the pig pen. The crate was green. Its gold letters said, Zuckerman's favorite pig. Charlotte had her web looking fine for the occasion. Wilbur ate his breakfast slowly. You ever seen a pig eat? Pretty sloppy. He tried to look radiant without getting food in his ears. In the kitchen, Mrs. Zuckerman suddenly made an announcement. Homer, she said to her husband, I'm going to give that pig a buttermilk bath. A what? Said Mr. Zuckerman. A buttermilk bath. My grandmother used to bathe her pig in buttermilk when it got dirty. I just remembered. Wilbur's not dirty, said Mr. Zuckerman proudly. He's filthy behind the ears, said Mrs. Zuckerman. Every time Lurvy slops him, the food runs down his ears, then it dries and forms a crust. He also has a smudge on one side where he lays in the manure. What's manure? Yeah, we all do it, but animals call it manure. Actually, we call it manure. He lays in clean straw, corrected Mr. Zuckerman. Well, he's dirty, and he's going to have a bath. Mr. Zuckerman sat down weakly and ate a donut. Dude. Mr. Earnshaw loves donuts, by the way. His wife went to the woodshed. When she returned, she wore rubber boots, an old raincoat, and carried a bucket of buttermilk and a small wooden paddle. Edith, you're crazy, mumbled Zuckerman. But she paid no attention to him. Together, they walked to the pig pen. Mrs. Zuckerman wasted no time. She climbed in with Wilbur and went to work. Dipping her paddle in the buttermilk, she rubbed him all over. The geese gathered round to see the fun, and so did the sheep and lambs. Even Templeton poked his head out cautiously to watch Wilbur get a buttermilk bath. Charlotte got interested too. There they are, buttermilk bathin'. Doo-doo-doo. Charlotte got on a drag line so she could see better. Wilbur stood still and closed his eyes. He could feel the buttermilk trickling down his sides. He opened his mouth and some buttermilk ran in. Ooh, it was delicious. Have you ever had buttermilk? Little sour for Mr. Jeff here. He felt radiant and happy when Mr. Zuckerman got through and rubbed him dry. He was the cleanest, prettiest pig you ever saw. Yes, sirree. He was pure white, pink around the ears and snout, and smooth as silk. The Zuckermans went up to change into their best clothes. Lurvy went to shave and put on his plaid shirt and purple necktie. The animals were left to themselves in the barn. The 7 goslings, ooh, what's a gosling? Say it out loud, paraded round and round their mother. Please, please, take us to the fair, begged a gosling. Then they all 7 began teasing to go. Please, 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 please. They made quite a racket. Children, snapped the goose. We're staying quietly at home. Only Wilbur Ilber's going to the fair. Just then Charlotte interrupted. I shall go too, she said softly. I have decided to go with Wilbur. He may need me. We can't tell what may happen at the fairgrounds. Somebody's got to go along and knows how to write. And I think Timbleton better come too. I might need somebody to run errands and do general work. I'm staying right here, grumbled the rat. I haven't the slightest interest in fairs. That's because you